Welcome everybody to this edition of Attention Talk Video. I'm your host, ADHD and Attention Coach Jeff Copper, and I'm here today with Holly and Tracey from Navigating ADHD. Welcome, girls.
Thanks for having us.
Excuse me, ladies. You're so young looking. You look like girls, but they're actually very mature women here. So, our topic today is actually using art, if you will, to help those with ADHD. And these two wonderful ladies work together in helping those with ADHD. So, can you tell me a little bit about what you do?
Absolutely. So I do all of the ADHD coaching, and Holly's an art therapist. So before we met, I was using art in my coaching, but when we combined as a practice together, we started using art all the time.
All the time?
Yeah.
And so how, I know the coaching side,
Yeah.
but how does art, I mean, I know what art is, but how does it play and what does it do for those with ADHD? Because we're talking mostly about kids here, right?
Absolutely. Yep. So what it really does is it provides a vehicle really for a whole different level of communication, a whole different way to get inside your brain. It's fun. We love the repetition it provides. So you're not only talking about a strategy, you are creating the strategy, you're taking the strategy home. It serves as a visual reminder. And it really gets you thinking outside the box.
And speaking of, I'm looking here, we got this.
Yes.
Tell us about this.
This is a perfect example. It's one of the projects we do generally at the beginning of a session, and it's a brain, and we use this to help kids understand brain awareness and what's happening in their brain with their ADHD. And this particular project was just made by a girl who created the brain and then put the toothpicks with all of the things that she thinks her brain needs to function best. So she has little tags, water, exercise, sleep, quiet, music, running, and fresh air.
What I like about this is there's so much that I like about it. Number one are the different modalities that they're using in order to put this thing together. Two is they're actually having to participate and think about what they're doing. This is very directed because it's brain-based, so they can begin to think about that. I presume with that comes awareness.
Absolutely.
Then the other side of it is there any, do you guys do any work with them while they're doing that in a meditative type sense where they're noticing that they're focusing and their attention goes away? Yes?
Absolutely. One of the best things about using art in a session is because they're actually doing more than one thing at a time, which the ADHD brain loves and thrives on. And then it also takes away a little bit of that nervousness they might have in a session, or maybe if they don't want to approach a particular challenge, it takes that part away for them because they're actually enjoying what they do.
It's fascinating. This reminds me, I was coaching a college student one time who liked to draw. Yeah. And I was working with her, but she was struggling not only with regulating her attention, but her emotional regulation. And when she would get to that fight, flight, or freeze type of a thing, where your amygdala is hijacked, if you will, she could feel it in her body, and she'd immediately go and she would go draw. And by focusing on that, it would enable her to down-regulate her emotions so she could bring her executive functioning brain back on and really kind of make that happen. So it's amazing how much you can do with this, and this particular is a tool.
Absolutely. And that whole, while you're in the process of creating, and the child or teen, whoever it is that's doing it, we can acknowledge and talk about, how did it feel to do that? And sometimes it's a whole new way of thinking for them that they didn't even realize that, wow, that really helped me concentrate. That really helped me think. That really helped my brain calm down.
The other thing, too, that I think is important is that in interviews with Dr. Barkley, he helped me kind of understand the brain is you have the back part of the brain, which is the filing cabinet, which is knowledge, and ADHD and IQ have nothing to do with each other, but the front part is the execution side. It's the putting it together and manipulating to make it happen. And so much of play and these art projects is actually using your executive functioning in a organized fashion to deliver what's going on. So in a sense, it's an attention exercise at the same time. You want to speak to that?
It is. Actually, we developed these art guides as a way to use strategies within a session, and one of them actually is just focused on executive functioning. So we've designed 10 projects to address the executive functioning challenges an ADHD brain might experience.
So this is kind of fascinating because I think most people, when they think of art and they think of ADHD, don't understand what a great tool it is and how many facets you can make that happen. Any particular stories that stand out to you of people that have come in that have really had some insight? Anything come to mind that's really...
It opens so many doors. We were working with a client. We both see this client at different times. And when he came in the other day, he really wanted to talk about his strategies that he's been using. And he said, I have all these strategies and I don't know where to put them. And he was writing them down on cards. And we said, well, what do you think? You want to make something that you can put them in? And he looked around the office and found a recyclable box and said, I'm going to make a basket. And then, he created a basket, put his new strategies as well as the old that he had written down or drawn pictures of, stuck them in his basket, and off he went at the end of the session. And it's just great to see it because it feels good for kids, adults, anyone to create something and just see how much it can help you.
It is pretty fascinating. It is. Anything left we should mention that we haven't before we wrap this up?
Just that we're excited to be finally sharing this with other people and really getting people into using art.
So everybody, you can learn more about Tracey and Holly by going to their website at navigatingadhd.com. Is that right? I want to make sure that I kind of got that right. Yes, we hope you've enjoyed this edition of Attention Doc Video. Take care.